Alright, what's good, YouTube? It's gonna be a little video I'm making for a YouTuber, LS Chevy Grinder. If y'all don't already know who that is, man, go check out his page, man. He got a couple of projects he working on over there, man. Go like and subscribe to his channel. He got a 91 Caprice that he just LS swapped, man. Go check it out, man. He did his thing on it. So I'm making this video to try to explain to him how to do the cluster swap for the 91 through 93 Caprices. Because of course Dakota Digital, they make one, but man, me personally, I dislike that cluster, the one with the just numbers on there and stuff. I hate that, man. I'm sorry, I've never been a fan of those clusters at all. They don't look that good to me at all. But after doing a lot of researching online and stuff and looking, I found out that the 91 through 93 Buick Roadmaster or the Oldsmobile Custom Cruiser, I think that's what it is, the Oldsmobile Custom Cruiser, 91 through 93 Oldsmobile Custom Cruiser, those gauge clusters fit into the 91 through 93 Caprice. I mean, they both up the same. And this first cluster right here, this is out of a 90, this was a 92 Buick Roadmaster wagon. And so the cluster fits right into the Caprice. Both up the same thing. Only thing you're gonna have to do is just some modification with the wiring and then some modification with the dash bezel. But other than that, it both up though. This cluster up here at the top, this one is out of a 91 through 93 LTZ Caprice. Either the LTZ or the Police Caprice. They have the ones with the digital speedometer, which is what this one is. And it boasts up everything just like this cluster. Even the plugs that go in the back are the same, which if you look, so this is the plug that goes into the back, and this is how they look. And the plugs for, it's two of them that go into it, and they both look the exact same. The only difference is just where the wires are you know, plugged into in the connector, but they're the exact same. Even where they how it looks on the backside, it's the exact same. The plugs and everything, the exact same location. There's no difference. So with that being said, as far as the wiring, as you can see, I haven't even hooked mine up yet, but there's a guy on YouTube, and there's his YouTube channel right there, Richards Rod and Classic. He has I think a 91, 92 Caprice over there that he LS swapped, and he put one of these clusters into his, and he goes into depth about the wiring on his. Now that video is on his channel is about 4 years old, so you're gonna have to kind of scroll a little bit to find it, but it is on there though. As far as my understanding from what he said, the wiring though is pretty much on that the sweep style cluster for the 91 through 93 Caprices. It has a single plug on there, and so far as the wiring, most of the colors that you have on these two plugs, if that color is in that harness, it matches to these on here. Now you're gonna have two pink and black wires. You got two on this side, and then you got two over here on this side. But on the 91 through 93 Caprice with the sweep style, you only have two pink and black wires. So what you have to do is you have to tie the two over here together, and you have to tie the two over here together, and then tie them into those two on that single connector. But far as like all the other colors, like if I'm not mistaken, I believe this thick brown wire on this side goes to the speedometer, if I'm not mistaken. So like, I mean, pretty much all the colors, you know, go to the same colors on that harness. Now there are going to be some on, like in this cluster of wires that you don't have in that single connector on that sweep style cluster. Is because the sweep style cluster just is nothing but a speedometer, fuel, and water temp, and then a bunch of warning lights, dummy lights. You know, that's pretty much all it is. And that's why I like these clusters so much better, because with these, you get the volt, temp, speedometer, RPM, fuel, and oil pressure. And that's what I like about these. It's the same thing up there. The only difference from this cluster up here is it has a digital speedometer. Now, so of course you're gonna have to wire those in. You're not gonna have those wires for like the oil pressure. You're not gonna have an oil pressure wire. So what you'll have to do, like if you LS swap your caprice, then you would go get a oil pressure switch for a caprice, a LTZ caprice, like that has this bezel in there. So you'll go get one for 91 through 93 LTZ caprice, or the police package one, and you would use that oil pressure sender, and then you would run a wire. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe the orange wire is the oil pressure, which I have the book right here in front of me, which I had to look it up, but I think it is orange, if I'm not mistaken. The low oil, that is that one's there. What's this? Oil pressure gauge, oil pressure indicator, which, yeah, that one looks to be orange. Yeah, I believe this one is orange. Gonna be orange, but either way it goes. So those, you have to, of course, like I said, wire those up. I know for a fact white is going to be your RPM. So of course, if you LS swapped your caprice, then you would just run that white wire on your LS swap harness. If you're using the aftermarket one, most of those harnesses come with a wire that's for the RPM, for the tach. And most of those wires in those harnesses are white. So you would just wire that right up into that, and that's it. The fuel, of course, that should already be in your harness. The water temp, that should be in your harness already. The volt won't be in there. You won't have the volt, so you'll have to run the wire for the volts to get that gauge to work. But it's pretty much simple. It's not that hard. Now this Buick cluster, from what I saw on eBay, they go from anywhere from $50, you know, with $50 with maybe like $15 to $20 shipping, all the way up to like $200-300. Just depends on the condition of the cluster and stuff. So, and you can, and this one I actually found a guy. I live in Houston, Texas, so I searched on Facebook Market for about half a day, and I hit up a bunch of guys that had the 91 through 93 Buick Roadmasters that they were parting out, and I found this cluster, paid $50 for it. I think I gave the guy like $5-10 for the pigtail for the cluster. I got him to just cut me out. I just asked him to cut enough back for the so I could splice back into it. With the LTZ cluster, man, eBay, it's not that many of them on eBay. So with that being said, of course they up there. So I've seen them, you know, roughly ranging around $200 to $300, you know, $400, man. And I think I saw one of them get up to $400. So just depends, man. But I actually got lucky. I found this one, Facebook Market in Houston, Texas. Got a guy sold it to me for $50, man. Couldn't fucking beat it. And the same thing with the connectors too. I gave him like $5-10 for those. Now, as far as the dash bezel, this dash bezel that I got sitting here, this is not the whole dash bezel, but this one comes out of a 92 Buick Roadmaster wagon, and you cannot use the one out of a wagon. As you already can see, it doesn't even have the whole bottom half of the dash bezel. Of course, the part that, you know, that goes over the steering column and stuff, and goes over the AC controls and stuff right here, it doesn't even have that part. So you can't use the one out of a wagon. And also another reason why you can't use the one out of a wagon, because it has this opening right here. You have to get the one out of a 91 through 93 Buick Roadmaster sedan. has to be the sedan, because it will not have this opening right here, because you're actually going to have to trim, you know, this part in here to make it fit. And there's another guy on YouTube, his YouTube channel is Southside Nate. Go check him out too, man. He got a box Chevy and he has a Bubba Chevy, and he has a 93 LTZ Caprice, and he has the one that came from the factory with this cluster right here. So the regular style dash bezel that has for the sweep style Caprice, it will not fit this cluster right here. It will not fit it. It can if you trim it, but with me on mine, those clusters, I mean, those bezels are already kind of hard to find. They're getting harder and harder to find, and they are brittle. So mine is in good condition. Mine doesn't have any cracks or none of that. I don't want to chop it up. I'm gonna just take it off and sit it to the side. So, but the Buick Roadmaster though, those bezels, man, I've been seeing them all over. You could get them from guys parting cars out. They're on eBay. You know, so like I said, you need the one that comes out of the sedan that doesn't have this hole right here, because you're going to be trimming like right in here. And the guy Southside Nate on YouTube, he has the 93. His dash bezel was messed up. He went to the junkyard. He got one out of a 92 Roadmaster sedan, and all he did was just I think he had to trim over here some, and then he had to trim right here. And then he made it fit like that there. The opening for the radio, same size. The way that it mounts up to the rest of the dash is the same exact way. So that's why you need the one out of the sedan. This one is out of a wagon. It won't work. Well, I mean, it could work, but I don't want. It's gonna have this opening right here. I do have the wood grain piece that goes all across this. I just took it off, but I got it, and of course, unfortunately, the wood grain that they put in the Roadmasters are typically not the same color as what came in the Caprice. The wood grain, as far as the door panels and stuff, so that may not match. I have seen full wood grain pieces that they make. You know, wood grain kits that they make for the Caprices, you know, where you could redo, where you could go buy it, and it comes with the dash piece, or you could just I've seen the one for the Buick Roadmaster, because if I'm not the Buick Roadmaster, the door panels are almost the same as the Caprices, and so even how on the door panel, how that wood grain and everything is set up on the door, it's pretty much the same. So, I mean, it's ways to, you know, to work around it. And I know they sell other little wood grain, little stuff that you could buy to put wood grain, that little wood grain vinyl over trim pieces too. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. And also, so with the book here, this book that I got in front of me, it's just a regular service manual, repair manual for a 91 through 96 Caprice. I think I bought this on Amazon the other day. It may have ran me about $30, I think. But if you go to and look in the back, almost at the very back, 1219. This is going to be the layout for the gauge cluster. And this one, if you look at the bottom, so it says typical 93 and early engine warning system. This says base system. So base is just the one with the sweep style cluster with all the dummy lights on there. And it's showing you, you know, the gauges and what color the wires are. You, of course, like right here, black and white is ground. You got your fuel right here, you know. So, of course, you got black for ground. It'll tell you the color of the wires and stuff too. So that'll help you on as far as pin out. Now, if you flip the page and you go right on over to 1220, right over, if you look down here, and it says typical 93 and early warning system, it says digital system. That's because that's for this cluster right here that comes in the LTZ or the police Caprice. So that's what this one is for. And as of course you can look up here, you can tell it'll have a tag. It says tag right there. And the sweep style did not come with a tag. So that's how you know which one you're looking at. And it tells you the colors for the wires and what they go to, everything on there. But yeah, and it's pretty simple. As far as like, you know, I think turn signal, I think like turn signal is gonna be like light blue, and then like a dark blue or something like that there. And then on the 91, 93 Caprice with the sweet style, I think the turn signal on those two are like two dark blues. But that's easy to find. You just get a test light and turn your turn signal on and test the pins and figure out which one lights up for the turn signal. Like the light will flash on that test light for the turn signal. That's how you know. Okay, if you did it for the left turn signal, and once you find that one, you see that the test light it flash on and flash off, flash on, flash off. You know that that's your one for your left turn signal. Then you do the same thing for your right till you find that one. So it's not that hard to kind of figure out which ones go to which. I hopefully it's almost winter time. I don't think I'm gonna get around to doing this, swapping out my cluster into mine, before winter. Just do the work and stuff. But yeah, man. If you got any more questions, man, just hit me up in the comments. I don't mind helping anybody out.